Big story developing here. The Supreme Court siding with President Trump's call to restrict transgender troops from serving in the military. It was a 5-4 decision, allows the ban to continue while a legal fight persists in the lower courts. The DOJ applauding the move, Democrats slamming this move, and some service members aren't quite sure what to think. Here now to break it down, Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. This was something that General Mattis agreed with. He wanted to put a hold on admitting transgender military for essentially further evaluation, I guess, in terms of the impact on our armed forces.
Well, the decision today is not on the merits. That is, they didn't decide whether or not the president has the authority to do it. They just decided not to interfere with the president's management of the military while this case is challenged. It does not remove anybody that's transgendered and is already in the military. It just blocks new people who identify as being transgendered from entering the military. So there'll be, listen to this, there'll be 5 trials throughout the United States because there's all these different challenges. Honestly, I think the Chief Justice should consolidate them all at one time in one place and before one judge. But during the pendency of the trial, did the president violate their constitutional rights? He can enforce the ban. That's all that happened today. So will this... God bless you.
I was trying to hold that back.
Right. Will this come back to the Supreme Court? Yes, it will come back to the Supreme Court after the trials are resolved and after the appellate courts are resolved. One of the things, I'm smiling, away in a minute, one of the things the DOJ wanted was for the Supreme Court to rule on the merits now before it goes to the Ninth Circuit, because they're sort of predicting, the president himself has said this, which way they think the Ninth Circuit will go.
Do you think it's constitutional to ban transgenders from the military?
I think that they have a very good argument that their personal sexual decisions are immune from interference or punishment by the government. I also think that their argument about it's a mode of expression. It's not a mode of expression I would use, but it's a mode of expression they would use, and that might be protected under the First Amendment. It's certainly worth exploring. These are not cases that are going to be dismissed. They're cases that are going to be tried.
If someone is able to serve their country, they should be able to serve their country.
Correct. The other argument is the president's the commander-in-chief of the military. And his decisions about the movement of troops and who can become a soldier and who can't should not lightly be interfered with. Those are the 2 arguments that should judges be making these decisions in our system? That's where it ends up.
All right. A totally different topic. Rudy Giuliani has spent the last 48 hours basically correcting and, changing out statements that he made about Michael Cohen and President Trump and to what extent and for how long into the election period they discussed the possibility of a Trump project in Moscow. Your thoughts on how he is handling this? How does this look and what does it reveal?
The initial appearance is that Rudy is a cheerleader for the president and is loose with the facts. But on closer examination, it appears to me that Rudy Giuliani is the president's champion, not just as his lawyer, but as a sort of PR person, and is willing, if he can, to sacrifice his own image to lower the bar so that if the president is charged with a crime or an impeachable offense, it will be rejected by the public. My other argument is there's an old rule of thumb that trial lawyers follow. If there's damaging information about your client, better it comes out of your mouth than out of the government's mouth. So Rudy has a good idea from all of his negotiations with Bob Mueller over whether or not the president is going to testify before a grand jury or sit down for an interview with Bob Mueller. Rudy's got a good idea of what Mueller and company have on or about the president. If he can slowly release that, drip, 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 as opposed to the government coming down like an anvil in a pond all at once, it'll be more palatable to the public and less shocking when it comes out.
I think there's potentially an effort to sort of just lower the expectations. Then the response is, well, we heard about this, we know about this,
right.
It's out there, it's in the bloodstream a little bit, and it gives them a little bit more control.
But that means Rudy takes the hits in the interim, and he is taking them in the legal and judicial communities.
Put up the quote from the New Yorker today. A reporter saying things for Trump, not always being truthful about it. Do you ever worry that will be your legacy? Does that ever worry you in any way? And Giuliani's response, absolutely. I'm afraid it will be on my gravestone. Rudy Giuliani, he lied for Trump.
That I couldn't believe he said. But anybody willing to go that far is willing to do anything for the client.
Judge,
anything.
Thank you. Good to see you tonight. We'll see what goes.